As a property owner, you will one day face this age-old dilemma. Is it better for you to sell your property first before you buy, or vice versa? Today, I'll share my experience having helped nearly 700 buyers and sellers and break down the pros and cons of each approach. I'll also reveal some risks that most people may not think about and some strategies to get you the best result. So let's go. Hi, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is TC Wu. My bio includes being a real estate broker and investor for 20 plus years. I'm a state licensed real estate instructor, developer, and a partner at a real estate brokerage and property management company in Seattle. From a high level, I call buying before selling the premium option because the benefits are preferred by most people, but it comes at a greater cost. I'll focus on the comparison between the two approaches based on 4 factors: stress, hassle, cost, and risk. First, buying first tends to be less stressful because you can take your time finding your next property while living your current one. When you sell first, you typically have only 2 options. Either you have to move twice by going to a temporary place first, or end up having to time the closings between your buying and selling transactions. Juggling between 2 closings can be quite stressful or even risky because there are many variables that are outside of your control. For example, if the lender for the buyer that's purchasing your property has delays, it can derail the whole closing timeframe for both transactions. To mitigate the risk, a strategy is to negotiate what's called a seller rent-back with the buyer when you sell your property. This way, you get to stay in your existing property after it closes. And the benefit is that you can have all of your proceeds sitting there in your bank account, and you can close on your next purchase with confidence. And also, you won't have to move twice. Buying first usually causes a less hassle because you have more flexibility. After buying your next property, you're free to do some work to it before you move in. This way, you avoid having to live in a construction zone. And most importantly, this option often helps with getting better result in selling your property because a vacant home is more easily staged, and most buyer brokers find it easier to show since no appointments needed. However, a major downside to buying first is the higher cost. Taking this route means you have to take on 2 mortgage payments, insurance, and property tax payments all at the same time. Also, you may not be able to get the best deal on the new loan without using the equity as down payment. In fact, a lot of people simply cannot qualify to buy without selling their existing property first. Well, one way to overcome these financial limitations is to use tools such as a bridge loan, which will help with the qualification issue, or a cross-collateral loan, which will help with the lack of down payment. Also, a lot of people don't know about this, but many loans actually offer a recast function, which means you can pay down the principal of the new loan after you cash out your equity, and then have the loan re-amortized to lower your monthly payments. I will be providing more details on these creative loan options in my future videos. Please stay tuned. If you're not willing to deal with all the drawbacks associated with selling first, you may choose to buy first with a contingent offer. And what a contingent offer means is that your obligation to follow through on your purchase is only conditional on selling your existing property first. Well, in other words, with a contingent offer, you will be able to tie up your future home while trying to sell your existing property. And it's a really wonderful solution. However, if you are in a strong seller's market like the one we are in now, the risk is not being able to find a seller who is willing to accept a contingent offer. Because if you see it from the seller's perspective, not only they have to keep their property off the market for you, they also have to take on additional risk of having the sale falling apart. Because instead of worrying about just you closing on their property, they also now have to worry about your buyer not closing on your property. So they have 2 sales to worry about. Therefore, I would say the number 1 risk with buying a home with a contingent offer is that you may end up having to resort to less desirable properties because only these sellers are willing to work with contingent offers. In a strong seller's market like the one we're in now, Another major risk that I see with selling your property first is that it may be very easy to sell your current home, but extremely challenging getting to your next one. And what I mean by that is that sometimes people will first move into a temporary situation, like a short-term rental. Then because of low inventory or bidding wars, they have such a hard time getting to your next property. So what was intended to be a short-term situation just kept getting extended. And the worst part is that because it can be very stressful to be stuck in limbo like this, some people may end up giving up or just wanting to settle for less than the optimal purchase. And that's something we definitely don't want to see. As with any major decision, there are pros and cons to consider. I hope the information in this video can help you make the best decision for you and your family. I wish well, and I wish your family well, and I look forward to seeing you next time.